Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our webinar. Today we are going to talk about one of the most prestigious competition in finance and financial markets and investments, which is CFA Institute Research Challenge. My name is Krzysztof Jajuga. I am the president of CFA Society Poland, and we are organizers of we are local host of CFA Research Challenge. And that's our webinar will be concentrated on information about this. Thank you for joining us. And I do hope that most of you will participate this year in the local challenge, and hopefully winning team or teams will go to the regional final, maybe to the global final. So our webinar will consist of several parts. I will start with the presentation, slides about the challenge. Then we will have some conversation with one person who is our patron in this competition, this local competition. And then we are going to have a panel of people who have experience in this area, who will tell you about benefits for different parties that participate in this research challenge. So I'm going to we go as usually with the presentation. So I'm going to start the presentation. Okay. I hope that this is okay now. You see the first slide, and the first slide tells you about the title, which is Big Challenge. CFA Research Challenge is big challenge, really. But also it's an even bigger opportunity for those who participate and also those who will win this. This is 15th edition. The first edition, the final was in 2007, and Poland, we joined this after 3 years as one of the local hosts, and this is for us now 12th edition of this CFA Research Challenge. Basically, I should tell you that this challenge started first some years ago, before even when this was CFA Institute Research Challenge. It was organized by the New York Society of Securities Analysts. Now it's called CFA Society New York. And it was so nice that CFA Institute decided to simply to move into global research challenge. So what is this? This is the competition among students, amongst teams of students from different universities from the whole world, basically. And this is for people who participate, is just to apply, and there's no better opportunity to apply what was learned in classes, in different courses, to real world practice, because you are going to consider real world cases, real world companies, and it will be the writing report about these companies, and then defending this report in the panel discussion. It's, as I said, is organized by local CFA Society volunteers. We are volunteers, and we organize this for Poland, and also there are teams usually joining us, teams from Lithuania and Latvia. They don't have separate challenge here, but we just help them. And last year in the final there was a team from Lithuania, and then winners. I will tell you about these winners from the local competitions advanced to one of the 3 regional competitions. These regional competitions are one is for EMEA, which is Europe, Middle East, and Africa. One is for Americas, northern and southern part of America. And the last one is for APAC. APAC stands for Asia Pacific. So these are 3 large regions in the world in terms of finance. And finally, the winners of regional competitions go to the global final. So how it works? First of all, we as a CFA Society members, volunteers, we work with conjunction with local universities, and we will ask you for the help to assemble teams. And teams should be between 3 to 5 students. There should be usually business and finance students. Of course, there are no limitations, maybe, but of course, with the experience of people who are studying, students who are studying finance and also business, for them it will be much easier to participate and compete in this competition. We will assign mentor. mentor. So that's person who usually has a CFA charter, and the mentor will help to not really to write personally this report, but to help to judge over writing these reports and preparing this research. Also, each team will have faculty advisor, and actually that will be faculty advisor who will assemble the team, right? So this person, professor at university, know better which students are very good and try to put them into teams, and then they will compete. So faculty advisor and mentor will help throughout writing this research. And then, of course, when reports are ready, they are being evaluated. So they are being evaluated. For us, it will be anonymously. So the graders who are grading these reports, they will not know who wrote particular report. And then the best teams will participate before panel of judges. Usually we organize this in the Warsaw Stock Exchange. We do hope that this situation, last year we also managed to have this local final with the best teams who presented their reports before COVID came to Poland. So we could have it, we have it just in real world, this competition. We will see what is going to happen this year, because we think that at the end of February, basically, there will be this local final. So we hope that until this time, COVID will just be relaxed a little bit more than now. Okay, so reports are evaluated, and then also presentation is evaluated, 50%, 50%, and then, of course, the winner goes, as is mentioned here, local champions advance to sub-regional competitions. There are so many universities participating that there are sub-regional competitions. So within EMEA, let's say, there are several different sub-regional competitions. And then, of course, the winners goes to the global final, as I mentioned. What are the benefits? Of course, one benefit is for students is that they will have learning experience as an equity analyst. So they would use this experience then probably if they go to the job, and probably it will be also easier, which is mentioned here, develop your resume CV. If you put in your CV that you worked on research challenge and that you already wrote such reports, maybe that will be easier to get a job as a at least junior equity analyst. Also, which is very important, presentation skills. As I mentioned, the 50% of total grade at the local level is based on presentation. So it's not only quality of research report, but then presenting this in such a way that judges who represent potential investors would say, this is great company and I would like to buy it maybe, or something like this. Of course, mentoring is important. So your mentor will help you, or will try to give you hints about avoiding maybe mistakes. And then, of course, you network with other people in this area, especially if we could organize this in real form, in the real classroom, let's say. So there is the huge community of the students. Of course, we do hope that this year, actually next year, because we start this very, very soon, but next year in spring, when the finals will be organized, that we could also meet your colleagues in the real world. We do hope this. You see, this is 2020 Research Challenge. These are the numbers. The numbers, I think, are very impressive, because you see that there is 1,100, more than 1,100 universities participating all over the world. These were 121 local challenges. So we are on one challenge, one local, and then there were another 120 challenges, 98 countries, more than 150 societies, and you see how many students. So this is really a worldwide challenge, and I believe that this is the top challenge and the most prestigious. I never heard about such challenge for students, which is on the global level. So that's very nice, and I think it grew. It has grown in last years, in last 10 years. Let's say, at the beginning there were not too many universities, like 15 years ago or 12 years ago. Now it's 1,100. I think this year will be more. So you see, in 2021, there are so many universities expected that now we have also sub-regional competition. So local winners, like from Poland, from our competition, will go to the sub-regional competition. And you see here we have EMEA subregions, and one of the subregions is Eastern Europe. So we are here together with colleagues from the competitions in Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Bulgaria, Romania, even Kazakhstan. There's I think about 12 countries in this region, 10 to 12 countries, depending how many will participate this year. And then, of course, in the sub-regional competition, again, report counts, but also your presentation. They will assume that just in case of the pandemic situation, your presentation will be recorded, and then you will just submit this presentation to judges, and they will see and they will give the final result. And then, of course, you go to the regional competition, and this says here that sub-regional competition will be virtual. That's expectations will take place in March. So I would say that we probably conclude our competition in Poland the end of February or maybe 20th of February, something like this. And then the reports and the presentation are being sent for sub-regional competition, and the winners will be announced at the end of March. And then, of course, there are regional and global competitions. So first of all, the teams from EMEA regions who won this regional, sub-regional finals, they go to EMEA semifinals, and here only presentation counts. So it's no longer report that makes points, but only presentation. But of course, your presentation will be based on the research reports. So somehow it will be included in your presentation. But here, is presentation skills and also Q&A session will be important, because you will get 10 minutes for the presentation and then 10 minutes for Q&A. It will be done virtually. For EMEA semifinals will be 13, 14, and then the best teams go to EMEA regional final on 20th of April. And finally, the best teams from EMEA, probably two best teams, will advance to the global final, which will be two days after this. So, it's a really complicated structure, but with so many universities, that's the only way how it can be done. What are the rules here? The rules are basically simple. You have to have 3 to 5 students. It's better to have 5 probably, because sometimes something happens and somebody will resign from the team. So you still have you need to have at least 3. So if you have 3 and somebody resigns, then you have problem. And these students could be undergraduate or graduates, so it's not a big problem. And they have to be student at the time when they register for exam. Sorry, not for exam, but for the competition. Also, there is one, it's not mentioned here, but there is one benefit. Any member of the team who register will get $200 discount if you decide then to register for CFA exam. So that's kind of benefit, regardless whether you win competition or you are on the last place or whatever, doesn't matter. Each member of the team will get discount, given that, of course, you register for exam. So you pay $200 less. Universities may form. Yeah, that's unfortunately this rule. This rule is a little bit strict, because universities may form up to 2 teams only, and these are not local host rules, but these are general rules. And then also, I know that in some universities in Poland there are more teams willing to participate, and there are they organize competition within university before they send 2 teams to the local challenge. As I said, students must be enrolled in the university they represent, of course. Very important is original work and presentation, not copying, not plagiarism, etc. Unfortunately, also, I'm not sure it's unfortunately, but this is a rule. Students may not have contact with the subject company. So we select, each society that conducts competition selects, of course, a company, and then the contacts, there are very limited contacts. First of all, there will be kickoff. With the kickoff, there will be meeting with the management of the board and all presentation, etc., etc. And then this is possible according to rules that you may ask one set of questions, maybe when you work towards your report. What else? As I said, mentors and faculty also may not contact the company. Only material that is public information is provided, because subject company is public company, of course. So the only information is public information, which is available anyway, but it's better maybe to participate in the kickoff, because you can ask questions, etc., etc. There are some rules about written reports. There's some format. Okay, so if you decide to register for our competition, you will get, of course, this information, and of course you have to follow the rules. You have to abide the rules of CFA Institute Code of Ethics and Standard of Professional Conduct. So you might know about these rules, because at some universities the CFA ethics is being taught also. But okay, that can be learned in a very short time. And then, of course, involvement of faculty advisor and mentor. There are strict rules. Faculty advisor, of course, discuss matters that are taught during courses in class in academia. 10 hours maximum of so-called productive time or efficient time of contacts, not more. And then, of course, work must be original work of the students. Okay, so it's not, you should not expect that faculty advisor will write part of your report. Faculty advisor may guide you through this and should guide you through this. And the same is true for industry mentor, but this is looked from the point of view of industry, right? So you can have 6 hours maximum contact. Please do use these 6 hours, because mentors really help a lot. And from the previous experience, we know that those teams that were hesitating to use time of mentor, they really didn't perform too well. So, mentor is important person, and we try to pick up, to assign the best mentors that we have among CFA charter holders within our society. Of course, the meeting now will be, could be face to face, but with the current situation, very often it will be probably virtual through the use of simple communicators, etc., etc. A mentor will review your draft of research report, definitely, and mentors should also help you in terms of presentation, because when we decide that the best teams, I don't know, 5, 6 teams maybe, will go for the final at Warsaw Stock Exchange, or maybe online. We will see what will happen. Then, of course, you have to prepare your presentation. It's very important, because it's 50% of the total grade at local level. This is last year results. There were 5 regional champions. 2 of them were from EMEA region, because so many universities participated. So there was BI, Norwegian Business School from Oslo, Norway, and there was the University of Lausanne from Switzerland. So these were teams from EMEA. Then we have 2 teams from Americas, which was Seton Hall, New York, United States, and also Universidade de Sao Paulo from Brazil. And then finally, there was one from APAC region, Asia Pacific. Asia Pacific region usually has less competitions, well, simply, but they had winner. They had winner last time. I mean, that was in April this year. Virtual competition, University of Sydney, and you see the graphs. I mean, the nice message is that also we can win. I mean, so we expect that a team from Poland will repeat the success from 2013, when there was Wrocław University of Economics. They won global challenge, and then best teams in the world, and then presentation, a research report. The presentation was about one of Polish companies, which was KGHM. But I just want to mention, this is I have a list here, the companies that were subject to our competitions. So we had 11 competitions until now. This will be 12th one. So companies, most of them, there was last year was PZU, there was PKN Orlen, there was Cyfrowy Polsat, there was CD Projekt, there was CCC, there was Comarch, there was Netia, KGHM, as I mentioned, there was Bogdanka, and there was Warsaw Stock Exchange as a company. When Warsaw Stock Exchange became public, we decided that it should be also subject of research. And the very first competition, which started in 2009 and ended in 2010, that was Amrest Restaurants. So these were subject companies, and of course this year there will be a new company. We cannot repeat the company, right? So if any of those companies that were mentioned cannot be more the subject in next competition. What are the benefits to students? I mean, there are many. I would say that first of all, you interact with professionals, either mentors or then later graders, and especially when you have a presentation, you will have panel of judges, and these are professionals. They will ask you questions. These the people who are in the Polish panel on the local final about mainly companies from Polish market, right? But then if you go to the regional final, you will get other professionals from other countries, and they will ask different questions, right? So they may not be so much aware of the particular company in Poland, but they might ask the very detailed questions as well. Of course, real world experience and equity analysis, because it's done with some scheme, so you have to go through all these steps in equity analysis, including valuation. Of course, your report should end with, well, with the valuation, and also with the statement whether it's buy, hold, or sell. So your recommendation should be, you start with, you just in the first beginning of your report, you state recommendation, and you have to explain in 10 pages why this recommendation and why such valuation of the company. Of course, you will learn how to write this research report. There's plenty of different sources on the website of CFA Research Challenge. I will give you the website addresses at the end, and you can use these things. So, despite that you participate in the competition, you also get some, for free, a lot of knowledge that will be helpful probably in your future job. Of course, enriching presentation skills. Not well. The last one, unfortunately, I don't think it will work. At least it might work for Poland, but maybe not for regional finals. Opportunity to travel. Last year, I remember that when we had this local final. Well, this year, but that was started last year. Of the company that was PZU, and then there was final in the Warsaw Stock Exchange, and I said that the regional final will be in Jordan, and we still don't know because anything can happen. And it happened. Actually, it happened because our final was the end of February sometimes. So there was COVID in the world, but it was not yet first case in Poland, so we could organize this, but we didn't know what will happen in Jordan. And in the meantime, they decided to move to the virtual competition. Of course, global exposure, etc. So you see again these numbers for 2020, quite a lot for Poland. This was 21 universities and over 30 teams, because university can send two teams, right? So that was the rule. Unfortunately, we didn't get to 24 universities like in previous 2 years, I think, because with 24 universities, we could send two universities to regional competition, right? With 21, unfortunately, we can send only one team. Okay, so that is it. How to get involved? First of all, you have to build a team with the help of your faculty advisor, probably already 3 to 5 students. You have to be determined because when you build this team, probably very very soon we'll have kickoff in probably the second half of November, roughly. Then, of course, the research report will be delivered in February. And you have to work hard to write report that is going to win. So the writing report that will just participate, maybe it will be easier. And you don't need so much time, but if you want to win, you have to spend some time. And looking at the research reports that were presented in years, I thought that, and this is also the let's say the opinion of professionals, they are getting better and better. So sometimes these professionals say, well, the quality is almost as good as the quality of some professional research report. Of course, of the best teams, I'm saying. You have to contact the faculty advisor. Well, maybe sometimes faculty advisor will contact you, maybe, because we have faculty advisors. The one of them will be in our panel very, very soon here. That's they know, they participate each year, and they know students, and know the students are very good, and they only have to find students that are motivated and they would like to spend some time. You have to register your team on the through our office, CFA Society Poland office, and finally there will be kickoff meeting late November, second half of November. We don't know yet. We will discuss this with the company. And well, last year it was a real meeting, right? So it was not virtual. We had this delayed November last year. This year we don't know what is going to happen. Situation is getting a little bit tough in terms of different events, organizing events in the real world. But anyway, we can do it also effectively online by just you will be online. So even you don't need to travel in this to Warsaw, let's say, for example, but you have this in place. So that's also good news. If this is possible to organize this in Rio, we will of course pay for your trip definitely to probably Warsaw. It will be probably Warsaw, so you don't need to worry about the costs. Any team who is going, if this is possible, I don't know yet, to participate in Rio, then we will pay, of course, the costs of these travels. Okay, so you see, this is big opportunity. Some photos from different competitions. There are three big regions. They participate in. At the very beginning, I think first one or two competitions, the teams from United States won, and then there was either Europe, like the one case with Wrocław, but also Polytechnic Milano, the Italian team, and then we had a lot of winners from, well, some winners from Asia Pacific, especially from Hong Kong, from Singapore, from Philippines. The one case is that the one university in Philippines won twice. That's the only situation. When, of course, the distance between time distance was several years. It was not the same team. And basically, the bad news is also that you, as a member of the team, unfortunately, you can only participate once in this competition. That's bad news. I'm sorry to say it, but these are the rules. That when you participate this year, you get experience. You might say, "Oh, now I know what's going on. I could participate." Unfortunately, this is not according to today's rules, of course, because the rule may change. But I don't think that it will happen very very soon. So this is the our partners, and I would like to thanks a lot our country partners, Deloitte and Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego. You have been our partners for years, let's say. Kaplan Schwezer is the global partner, of course. And then I also want to mention websites for the competition. Two websites are here from CFA Institute, especially the second one, where it says past champions. You will see who won the competition, but you will also see the reports of the winning teams. So they are published on the website of CFA Institute. We also have a special dedicated website. I think this website will start from tomorrow, for our society, Research Challenge PL, and then all these things will go through this information, etc., through this website. So our website will be available from tomorrow. So basically, I think I would like to thank you. Well, I hope that we can also share some maybe questions, but in meantime, I would first of all, I can ask for the short presentation maybe, and this maybe discussion, Miss Anna Krawczyk. And Anna is from Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego. She's recruitment and employer branding expert. And Anna, thank you very much for joining us. And again, thank Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego for all support over several years already. So I might give the floor to you now for a short while, and we can either discuss it, or if you want to just say something, that then now the floor is yours. So please, yes, I
Okay.
think.
Thank you, Mr. Professor. I would like to first of all welcome you here on behalf of Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego. BGK is a Polish state development bank. We basically help Polish economy to grow. Especially our role currently is very crucial concerning the economy. We are a partner of CFA Research Challenge for the third time, as I remember, and we value truly this partnership. And what I would like to say is that I would like to encourage all of the students to participate in the contest. It is a valuable source of practical knowledge for you because you are working with professionals, you are working on real companies, as Mr. Professor mentioned, on real companies while preparing the validation. Secondly, it is the opportunity to work with financial professionals, for example, the mentors. And representatives of the partner companies such as BGK and Deloitte. These contacts can result in very interesting job offers in the nearest future. So I highly recommend it. At BGK, we value the candidates who participate or participated in the CFA Research Challenge contest because we know that these are the people who want to achieve something, who have the financial knowledge, and what is equally important, the social skills. Because during the contest, you have to, for example, cooperate with one another, present your reports live, and so on. So this is a few words from me. I highly recommend the contest, and I highly recommend you to participate in it. If you have any questions concerning maybe the working opportunities at BGK, do not hesitate to ask me, for example, now or after our webinar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And again, thank you for all support, because I know that there are people who are mentors from BGK. There are persons who are graders and panelists also. So, I mean, you participate in all areas, let's say, in this competition. So thank you very much. And I know that also Bank Gospodarstwa Krajowego employs quite a number of CFA charter holders. That's what
Yes.
I learned over these several years with these contacts, that is very nice to hear that these CFA charter holders, they of course they don't have problems with getting a job, but job in such prestigious institution is especially nice, I should say. Okay,
And these
thank you
are
very much. And now we are moving slowly to panel, because I want you to get some feedback from different participants in this challenge, and we decided maybe I'll present them now. We have all possible stakeholders, let's say, of this challenge. Maybe I'll start with the ladies here, like I see on the screen here. Magdalena Lewińska. Magdalena she is the member of the winning team of last year local challenge from Warsaw School of Economics. So again, congratulations, Magda, and I would hope that you will share some benefits about this among our participants here in this webinar. Dr. Anna Golec is from University of Gdańsk, and she is faculty advisor. Actually, has been again for a while faculty advisor. So I think that you are very experienced, and always team from University of Gdańsk advanced well, at least to the local final. Sometimes not yet a winners, but maybe this year. So we hope that maybe it will happen. And then we have Mariusz Słowikowski here, and Mariusz is from Deloitte, from our partner, let's say, our patron partner. And also, as I understand, you are a mentor usually, so you may share both experience as a mentor and also as a company, similarly as Bank BGK, participating in this, and it has been already again several years with this context. And finally, Dr. Przemysław Grobelny from University, actually the name is Poznań University of Economics and Business. So you are well. You represent here mentor, not faculty advisor, but mentor. But you could be also faculty advisor. You cannot be at the same time faculty advisor and mentor, obviously. But you're entitled to have these two roles, basically, being also at university. So I think that this is my presentation of analysts, and I just would go on with some questions, and many of these questions will be some at least will be devoted or directed to probably almost all of you. But I would like to start. I understand that I'm not sure who are our viewers, but I would expect that substantial number of our viewers are students, are potential members of the teams. So I would like to start with Magda asking question, what would you think will be the most important benefits for the members of the teams? I mentioned a little bit, but I think you can tell more and more appropriate about this because you possibly benefited from this.
Yeah,
So
so
Magda,
for
floor is
me,
yours.
thank you for the
Yeah.
invite, and yeah, I would love to share my views. So I think the biggest benefits for me was to getting to know new people, which are also interested in finance as I am. We cooperated for 3 months together, and we became friends after all because we worked so much together that it was impossible not to become friends, I would say. So also, of course, for me, the biggest benefit was also to have a real challenge because I don't know if it's the case, but probably the economic studies are not always so engaging for the students. And the CFA Research Challenge was a real challenge for me. It took a lot of time, a lot of work, which was a great opportunity. And also, as for other benefits, I also acquired new knowledge and new skills. I never had a presentation on Warsaw Stock Exchange before, and I never spoke to such a big audience before. So that was one of the most valuable points for me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. That's probably the getting knowledge, experience, and then skills. That's very important, especially in for long term. Doesn't of course it's by no doubt, but also in short term, I believe. Dr. Anna, what are the benefits for university? Because you know why
Well,
university could be involved a little bit in this, at least supporting faculty advisor and maybe students.
I would say we have multi-dimensional benefits. Well, for the faculty as a whole, is visibility of the university, of the faculty, and like to prove that we can have talented people as graduates to offer. So it increases visibility among the employers. On interpersonal level, I would say that we have the unique opportunity to build a mentor-mentee relationship during the cooperation with the team. Because even though we try to address like real life examples during our lectures and tutorials, it never goes that extensively and so deeply as we do that within the challenge. And of course, during the study process, it's when we deal with 300 people in the classroom, it's almost impossible to get this mentor-mentee relationship. So it helps a lot in the teaching project as to integrate the practice and what the students learn from the theoretical part.
I would thank you very much. I would agree. I think that even during classes, when I teach about different things, I'm presenting as a case. I mean, not a case, but as an example. I use these reports that were, especially the one from Poland, but also from the other countries, the winning reports especially, and show it to students so they know how this research should be conducted, basically. And I will completely agree with the visibility. Now, since teams from Poland, at least several teams from several universities, they perform very well in regional competitions. So I think now people especially in EMEA, they know more about Polish universities, and that would probably enhance possible cooperation. Now, what would be the benefit for employer? I would like to ask Mariusz Słowikowski about, first of all, why Deloitte decided to be partner, but maybe more important is, since you are employer and you have contact with employers, what would be the main benefit for employer?
So as Deloitte, we actively supporting our employees in CFA certification. And this is simply because this knowledge is applied in our everyday work. So, and of course, CFA challenge lets us get to know each other. So this is some kind of a door opener for a possible internship and a future career here at Deloitte. And that's simple as that, basically.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to move now to your evaluation, maybe, because you have a contact, especially, I mean, I'm talking about Anna, Przemysław, and Mariusz. You had a contact over several years with this competition. How would you see the level? I have my personal view, of course, but over the last maybe 12 years or something like this, but you might have some other opinion about the quality. What do you think? Where did you see the big improvement? Which part was the best in terms of improvement, and which part still you think that they could have performed a little bit better in this area, or maybe there's no such part? So I would like to start with Dr. Przemysław, from the about this your opinion.
Oh, thank you very much. And at first, I would like to share my view that the general level is very high, and at the very first glance, this competition could see tremendous, and the work that you need to involve in order to prepare a report might seem magnitude. But I believe that this challenge is perfectly tailored for the academic level. And we should remember that the aim of this challenge is to value your skills as a student. So I highly recommend to all of potential participants to check the reports of the previous winners teams, as they are very tangible and they present you some benchmark, what is the level and what level of work it involves. So I believe that this is very useful in order to assess whether you are ready or not to try this challenge. And I believe that the biggest advantage and this key factor of benefits of this challenge is this interpersonal aspect. At the university, we usually have opportunity to work on some methodological issue, on some technical aspect, while this presentation skills and this also kind of negotiation skills with your graders is very valuable to me, and I believe this is the crucial issue and key aspect of skills that could be developed thanks to this challenge.
Okay, thank you very much. How about Anna? How do you see this level as an academic? Probably you may look at different parts.
Yeah. I'm actually actively supporting my students in various competitions related to accounting or taxation or like general business advisory, and I must clearly state that this is by far the most difficult competition that is available to the students. And beside the knowledge, like from multiple fields that you need to demonstrate, like valuation methods, quantitative methods, accounting, financial analysis as such, that goes without saying. But I would say the biggest difficulty of the competition is to self-discipline yourself and to keep the motivation, to be persistent, to plan effectively, because usually the deadlines overlap with the exam sessions. So this causes a lot of trouble for some students as well. So it gives you a lot of like soft skills. We call it soft skills, but they're like essential skills to work in the investment profession, I would say.
Okay, thank you very much. And then also, Mariusz Słowikowski, do you have some impression about the quality of the exam over the last few years?
Yes, actually, CFA Research Challenge is, in my opinion, a pretty realistic simulation of the real working environment in the corporate finance business. So I would assess the expected proficiency level as expert, which might be difficult even for an experienced consultant. Because in the end, you have to imagine that you will be acting as an advisor to a management board of a listed company. And those people expect the highest level of advisory. So this is one thing. And the other is that there is a really stiff competition between teams. I saw a lot of really strong commitment. And in the real world, you are just one leading or key advisor to the management board. But here in this competition, you have many teams who are competing. So you have to really be passionate about this competition. It's really difficult.
Thank you very much. I would agree. I will tell you maybe two stories. One story is that competition is tough. I remember one year, it was several years ago, on the local level. You know, there's we grade reports, and then we grade, not myself, of course, the panel of graded and judges, and the total number of points that you could get from everything was 1,000 points. And the difference between winning team and team then when the second was 2 points, 2 points in the level of 1,000. So, you know, it was very close. I mean, in any one of two, and the third team was just behind them, maybe like 20 points or something like this. So very tough. And second situation about this, you know, improvement also methodology is that I remember that many years ago when, and it was team from Poland also, they started to use when they did conduct valuation, they started to use also to Monte Carlo simulation just to build the distribution of possible values. And this was something extra. Well, at this time, there was something extraordinary, and judges even asked, why did you do this? Why do you need this? And now it's almost each team presents some kind of simulation. So that's probably the story that has improved. Also, I should say that topics that are included in the reports, they also not really change, but there are new topics. Very recently, I think like 2-3 years ago, if I correctly remember, there is a part of ESG. You know how the companies are related to environmental, social, and governance issues. Also, well, some people call it corporate social responsibility. So that's also changing, I think, and is very important. Before I go to the next question, I think I'm looking here. I'm looking here at chat. I see now basically two questions, so I may just try to answer them. One question, this is Piotr, says, good afternoon, can you tell me what's the issue of being an intern analyst during registration or kickoff? That's a very important question, and I think we are going to put on the website, I think they might be have put also on the CFA Institute website, the set of rules. If you are employed by the company and you provide research report, you cannot participate probably. So you have to look at these rules. They will display on the website and check whether you are okay or not, right? Unfortunately, those people who are very much involved in writing research reports, they are excluded from this. Of course, no CFA charter holders in teams as well. It could be the situation, but in some places, somebody who is on the last year of study already passed 3 levels of the exam, it could be situation. So no such people, unfortunately. This is for not really newcomers, but this is for somebody who has no such big experience, because we want to, by this competition, we want to increase the experience. And the second question is, this is a very tricky question. Somebody, Nazar, Mr. Nazar, or Mr. or Mrs. What is the methodology which the organizing committee follows to select the company at points for the local competition? Well, basically, this is at our discretion. You ask about criteria, and I'm not going to disclose the criteria, but I'm going to say that the company should be public, should be and should have a little bit like story. I mean, because then if you then present this to the judges, you have to tell about it. They are potential investors. They represent potential investors. So there should be a little bit of story. It should be the company which is, I remember when we selected CD project, right? This is big. There was big, or there has been big story about this. This was by no doubt, this was the only one big success of Polish company in the world. Also, not champions, but this company was now the second largest company, was the largest before last Monday, but now is the second largest, 38 billion Polish zloty. That's the value of this company, right? And also some other companies. Remember, there was very nice story about CCC, for example. CCC, this is shoe company, not only shoe, but mostly shoe company. And with this cena czyni cuda, right? Remember, is the CCC stands for cena czyni cuda. So you could explore this and make a little bit of story. Also, we want to give such company that is not very straightforward to analyze. I mean, that little bit requires a little bit of efforts, but on the other hand, it should not be the company that's extremely difficult to value. I remember one of the very first competitions. There was a company, I think it was the first competition, that then our teams they went for regional final and said, one team went for regional final and said we had big problems because the company was difficult, and actually, it was very hard. So that's what I can answer to this question, but everything else is at our discretion. Of course, the one requirement that should be public company, and also we want to have as a subject company, of course, Polish company, a company that's listed on the Warsaw Stock Exchange. That's not a must. I know that some colleagues from the other countries, which are more to the east of Poland, they probably didn't have a good company to be selected, and they decided to select the world company. And it doesn't matter. There are no rules that should be company that is located in the same country. Not really. Okay, so these were these questions that I got here on the chat, and I just want to go now with the question to mentors. Maybe there are two mentors. If you could tell me, what if you try to convince people that this is very important to use mentor as much as possible? I mentioned that sometimes the teams, we select mentor, and mentor said, no, they didn't contact even us. Well, don't be afraid, don't be shy. You may say that the question you are going to ask is stupid. There are no stupid questions, right? So you ask about everything because mentors are for your learning. So you learn contacting with mentors. Maybe not necessarily winning this competition because there's one team that wins, maybe two. If we can we will have 24 universities, we will have two winners, right? But winner takes all, let's say, in this case. But other participants, they get knowledge. So that's important. So maybe if I can start with Przemysław saying about role of mentor, what would you say the main role from your experience?
Okay, so I have this special comfort that I used to serve as a faculty advisor and industry mentor, so I can share some experience both and share the main differences. So in my view, the major point of differentiation is the fact that faculty advisor are more into details like methodological aspects or technical issues, and from your mentors you should rather expect some more practical views, some eye on general view, some kind of even helicopter view, we call it. So I believe that it's very important to involve your mentors at the later stage of your work, as they can provide you with different view from another angle, what should be highlighted, what is especially important, and which information is basically expected by people who will grade you. So I think that this is important to involve both of those roles, and there are different areas where we can serve you, and it's important to use both.
Okay, thank you very much. And maybe Mariusz Słowikowski will tell something about mentor's role from the point of view of being in the company, actually.
Okay, as a mentor, I would say this is a challenge. So this is about losing or winning, and each element of the whole exercise is quite important. So the team, faculty advisors, the mentors. So I would say that each element is critical, and the mentor is some kind of the tool that you need to succeed in this competition. This is simply because you probably do not know how to do this project, this difficult project, and your mentor could help you with, could guide you and help you in terms of what is expected and how to do it. And I think that it's very important to start with contacting your mentor, or chasing your mentor from the beginning, to set up the plan for the whole project, and to be in contact with her or him, because mentors are the people who have knowledge, experience, and I think that without them you will simply lose this competition.
I completely agree. From the previous experience, the teams that didn't contact mentor, they didn't perform too well. And those who are very good, they know also that they could contact mentor to get some little bit more, maybe the small part that will decide to win. And also what you said, I think what Mario said about this plan, I would also strongly agree. You would have something like 2 months, little bit more than 2 months to write your research report, including maybe 2 weeks of Christmas break, where of course you slow down. So do not think that you will start on the, let's say, 15th of January or 20th of January, because then you will have probably also exams at your university. Usually this is the time, the end of January, maybe, or maybe beginning of February. You are not going to have enough time. So start immediately, let's say, plan it carefully, and in meantime, check what's happening, and because it might be that at the very end you will discover something that that you didn't take into account, and then there's not enough time to do it. There will be, I remember also that students have to deliver these reports. There will be some deadline. Deadline is, let's say, I don't know yet, but this will be around mid-February, 20th of February, something like this, probably February, and there'll be particular hour, let's 4 p.m. And I see usually this is going to happen like this, that maybe one team or two teams, they will send the report one day before deadline, and then nothing is happening, and 1 hour before the deadline there are reports coming, right? And then of course this is the very end. Don't wait until the very end. Well, you can just send at the very end your report, but don't wait until very end with some small corrections, etc., etc. Okay, so I'm going now to the very last question, probably. This is the question about hints and tips. So what all of you, being mentor, faculty advisor, but also being student, and I think the Magda here is the most appropriate person to start with about different tips, hints, but also traps, from the point of from your experience. And also you can also mention that there are very many materials that can be used, and so what's your opinion? What would you advise? Several hints, tips for future teams, which hopefully will be in our competition this year.
So I would definitely advise that it was said that to start early. It is really crucial, as then as the time comes close to the due date of the report, you have exams, you overlap with other your activities, and it's getting tough really. So just make sure to use your time as much as you can at the beginning when it's November, you don't have much obligations. So my second tip is to use members wisely and selectively, because make sure that they have the same motivation as you have and that they are willing to work hard during these 3 months, because it probably will get hard at some point, and it's great when you work in team, but it's impossible to do this report alone. And also, I would advise you to take advantage of all the help you have available. So, faculty advisor, mentor advisor, and all the materials that are on CFA webpage. So, past reports, because they have been an amazing help for us. And it's something when you're stuck, the mentors can help you. And just it is a waste not to use all the help you can.
Okay, thank you. I will also completely agree about this, that use all help, but please do not copy reports, because there are reports in the internet, because professional equity analysts, they write reports. And so sometimes we could see some reports that there are some opinions, but you could see they're exactly the same as opinions of some equity analysts. So try to work by yourself. You have individual view on this. You can develop your view, and that will help you learn, rather than following ready reports. Of course, you have to go through all publicly available materials about the company. So not necessarily opinions by research report, but facts, giving not only financial statements, of course, the starting point, but also other things, information from, if there are such information from, you are freely allowed to use it from internet, about from big data sources, etc. If they are publicly available, of course, right? So it should be equal benefit and equal approach to all teams. Okay, I'm going to move to Anna Goles. If Anna will tell, first of all, these hints for teams, but also hints for faculty advisor, because I think you mentioned a little bit, if you can develop it more, what is the good approach to select? I know that some faculty advisors, they had the problems. They select a team. It looked like they were very good, but something happened in between. Somebody changed his mind or her mind. Somebody had some family problems, etc. Somebody lost motivation. So what do you think? What will be the hints for teams, for students, but also for faculty advisors?
Okay, so let me first start with some advice for the students, for the members of the competition. Apart from start early, I would of course say read the rules carefully, because from my own example, I can say that my team was once disqualified because of submitting the non-compliant front page. So this was a really great report, but it was not graded because of the non-compliance. So don't make the same mistake. Another hint would be, okay, you hear that this competition is very difficult, very demanding, and so on. And that's all true. But you don't need to be the winner of the competition to win something for yourself. Yes, and remember that the people that compete with you are still the same people as you are. So they're normal people. They're not like it's not rocket science. Yes, And don't get too fierce in this competition. I know everybody wants to win, but on the other hand, try to have fun with that. So try to enjoy it and think that the people that you are competing with right now may be your work colleagues in a few years. So try to make some friends, try to make the best of it. And regarding the faculty advisors, we have to deal with various problems. Sometimes you have a problem to get the team. So at the very beginning, it's very difficult to complete a group or to keep the motivation. So what works well with my students is trying to give them some kind of benefit in their curriculum, academic curriculum. So, for example, I negotiated with the dean that students who submit the report are entitled to exam release from one of the courses. Another advice for the faculty advisors, if you're like spoiled by the choice, would be that you need to be very honest with the students and simply make some things clear at the very beginnings that they can count on your support, but they definitely cannot expect that this is going to be like typical classroom activity and that they cannot count that you will organize the teamwork. So on one hand, you need to make sure they understand that the competition is difficult, but on the other hand, you need to be supportive and encourage the people to proceed and to go forward.
Okay, thank you very much. And now maybe point of view of Przemysław. You can, what do you advise students except for what was said until now, but from your experience, tips, hints, but also maybe for mentors. Being a mentor, you made advice also mentors, little bit what they should do.
Okay, so I wanted to add to previous voice that the time management is crucial, but it has been already told, so maybe I will focus on other aspect. And there is common dilemma whether the evaluation is more about craft or arts. And I believe that for the need of this challenge, we really need to combine those aspects, as you will be graded on the craft you provide in form of your report, of your tools that you use, the method that has been employed, but also this art aspect is very important, as you will be granted at the very high level based on your presentation. So don't forget about that, and prepare some time, secure some time to work on some details of this. So this is a crucial aspect for students, and if I were to formulate some recommendation for mentors and the relationship between teams and mentors, I think that the crucial issue is to understand that being a mentor in this challenge is a voluntary role. So we are here to support teams, and teams should remember about that. The role of mentor is to onboard team, to welcome them, to ask questions, and to break some threats that some question could be too easy or too silly. So I think that it is important to understand each other, that mentors would really like to serve and to provide some support, and teams shouldn't be reserved or ashamed to ask even basic questions. I remember that from my experience as a participant, I had some doubts about formulating some questions to our mentors, but this welcoming attitude of my mentor was very helpful in this manner.
Okay, thank you very much. And Mariusz Słowikowski, your tips, hints, maybe for students,
oh my God,
for mentors?
I'm gonna be boring now. So, and first of all,
Don't worry.
be systematic.
Don't worry.
So be systematic, start early, make it your full-time job. Forget about holidays. This is M&A, this is investment banking, so no mercy. Be proactive. If somebody in your team underperforms, be a leader, make him to perform or help him or her to perform. And I should maybe be talking about winning, not losing, but if you contact your mentor too late, you will lose. If you start drafting your report 4 days before the deadline, you will lose. If you don't plan properly, you will lose. And so just you need to be an expert, a professional, act as a professional. And what is also important, please do not underestimate your competition. Yeah.
Yes,
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would say that you know, even if you meet all these requirements, you may lose. Actually, you may be the second or the third. If we send two teams, this will be the third. If we send one team, you will be the second. So you are not going to win. And then there is disappointment. I know this. I know students from the past that they were disappointed. They were so close, but somebody else won. But I think that your experience will pay you for, you know, for your career, definitely. I'm slowly moving to the end, but I just have maybe two more questions I can see on the chat. At least that's what I got. There's one question. I apologize if the question was already answered, but I joined late. How will the teams gather? Will there be mentors on each university that will gather teams? No, no, no. Also, as I understand, CFA charter holders can't participate. What about CFA level 1 candidates? As far as the second question is concerned, these strict rules, if you registered for this webinar, we have your messages. We will give you a link to official rules, and this is 20 more pages of official rules about participation, about how the report should look like. So if you really want to register, you have already a team. This will be must that you have to read this. But the first question was about how the teams are gathered. I think there are basically no mentors. The mentors will come when the teams are already registered. Then we will assign the mentors as organizers. But I think there are two ways of building teams. First way is that faculty advisor already knows which students are good and try to convince them to build the teams. The other way is that there is a group of students, they want to build a team, and they have to contact, if they didn't do it before, they could have to contact faculty advisor. If there are more than two teams from university, that's good news and bad news, of course. Good news is that this is so exciting that university is so good and people are so motivated, etc. The bad news is that you have to, the faculty advisor basically has to select two teams, and that's it. I know that in one Polish university, at least one, they have local, I mean, university competition. So they organize, there may be like 6 teams. They organize internal competition, and this is not only the case for Poland. I know that in countries that, for example, I know in Netherlands, I remember it used to be the case that they organize internal competitions, and they did this even before holidays, before vacations. So they started in May, June, maybe, and then already in September or October, they were already running for this. Unfortunately, in Poland, we have this problem for a little bit not clear reasons to me. This is old tradition that academic year starts in October, not in September, like in very many countries. So we have this one lag in month, unfortunately. Yeah, so that's the team, why how the teams are built. So no mentors. Mentors are not organized. Mentors will learn the team when the teams are registered. Soon after kickoff, the mentors are assigned. And believe it or not, our mentors, they are proud that they are some, they say, we want to be mentored this year as well. The problem is that if they get the team assigned and the team doesn't contact them. So that's something which is not good. But you mentioned this in your statement. So I think that this will conclude our webinar. So I would like to pass my great thanks to our participants, Anna Golec, Magda Lewińska, Mariusz Słowikowski, and Przemysław Grobelny, Thank you for time. Thank you for your valuable information and insight into this competition. And as I said, those who are registered, for example, will get more messages. But we do hope that this year maybe there'll be 24 universities again. But by no doubt there will be at least several universities will send more than one team, and that's what we like very much, because we think that this is this is good achievement. Also, those people who are on this challenge, or many times, then they decide to go for CFA exam. And despite that, even if you don't go for this research challenge, I would strongly advise you try to go for the CFA exam, because this is gold standard. This is gold passport. This is not the other profession that is about. When you get this certificate with some other professions, you can show this certificate only in Poland, for example, only national, and they would be not recognized in other countries, right? So we are looking for the world certificates, and CFA probably it's number one. There are famous quotes from The Economist, the Financial Times, saying that there's an enormous number of different finance programs all over the world, starting from those who are offered in great universities, to those who are offered by of very low quality, also because that could happen. But there is one single CFA. One person out of seven will start CFA program, will complete this program. And that means that this is challenging, and it's certainly being awarded then by your employers. So thank you very much, and hopefully we will meet during maybe a little bit real, but most probably also virtual competition this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.